Resuming. Nerd. World. Order. Broadcast. Dialer phones connected. Initiating broadcast signal in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, this is the Nerd World Order broadcast. I'm the man that you call Dukes, and to my right, it's all about the...
Booyah, what's up? It's your boy Joe, baby.
And to my other right, weighing in at 178 adamantium field pounds, coming straight out of Krakoa, Alfonso X-Man Flores.
Say his name and he'll be there. I believe in John Walker.
And you know who I believe in at this point? Alfonso Flores, because he can take wrestling reference number 1 and combine it with an Thunderbolts reference number 2, and it makes no sense. They don't belong together, but neither does peanut butter and chocolate, but they work so well together. So if you're looking at the stream or the screen, then you can see that we are going to be discussing the Thunderbolts, explaining the team, giving us our predictions, and of course, telling you everything that you need to know before we get into watching the show, which actually premieres on May 1st on movie screens everywhere. No, that's not sponsored, but hey, say what I gotta say. So, how you fellas been doing?
Chilling.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been doing pretty good too. Nothing really exciting going on here. I'm really looking forward to this Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like as we've been reviewing Marvel properties, they've been getting better and better over time as far as like the quality of the product. I feel like I personally liked Captain America, Brave New World, and then I feel like Daredevil got a lot of good reviews. And I feel like based on, Joe gave us a little bit of information earlier today saying that the movie's been getting a lot of good hype. This movie is projecting to do very well from a Rotten Tomatoes point of view, but I don't care about no Rotten Tomatoes. Unless you're putting tomatoes in my salad, I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes. But that being said, what are you guys anticipating as far as, are you looking forward to this movie?
Personally, I'm very much looking forward to it. There's so many ways that they can go with this movie, and I'm not sure what they're gonna do. The trailers have been a little sparse. They don't give you a lot of information. They give you enough, but I think there's going to be a lot more to this movie than we think.
I stopped watching the trailers, if I'm just gonna be honest. You guys know I don't like being spoiled. I don't like spoilers. So I think Alfonso, in our chat sent us a trailer, and I was like, I'm not watching that, bro, because I know Marvel, well, sometimes they still do this where they're like, hey, let's put all the good stuff in the trailers, but I don't want to have any spectacular moments ruined. So for me, I haven't watched trailer. I can't recall watching one trailer, but I'm sure I have. But I can't really recall watching one trailer. But Joe, are you going to be seeing this on opening night?
Yeah. Me and my sons both are going to watch, all three of us are going to watch it at like 10:15 at night. So, and my sons are hyped up too. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit. I think this movie's going to make us care about those characters, which is good because Marvel hasn't done that for a while, to be honest, in any of the movies where you actually care for certain characters. Right. Since like Iron Man, since the big three. But I think with this one, I already like some of the characters in there. So I'm looking forward to see their development. And Bucky needs to go back to Winter Soldier level, please. he just has to, man.
We'll get into Bucky. We'll get into every character, but I don't think he will. I'm really curious as who the leader of the Thunderbolts is going to be. to me, it feels like it's going to be. Is it Yelena? White
Yelena?
Oh,
Widow? Yeah.
if you watch the trailer, you'd have a better understanding of who
Oh,
probably is.
see. I'm not spoiled. I'm not
Mhm.
spoiled. I'm okay with that. So I just hope that they do bring him up to Winter Soldier level.
Yeah.
I did see one trailer where he was like blocking the car with his arm. I was like,
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. So I
Yeah.
hope he gets back to that. You know.
Justice for Bucky.
Yeah, that was one of the points that I have written down here is like, is Bucky gonna be the leader? I mean, it seems that way. I mean, Yelena, she is a strong character. She could carry the team, but I think Bucky. I mean, well, first of all, he's the oldest. You know,
Mhm.
probably
Yeah.
Red Guardian second, but I mean, this man's been around forever. He's, been with Captain America. He's on par with Captain America. I think I can't foresee anybody else like taking the reins from him. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, what's her name again? Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is going to be like the Amanda Waller of the group. Bringing them together, probably financing things, whatever. But I think ultimately in the field, it is going to be Bucky taking charge.
Because in the new comic books, it's like that. So
Oh.
he's like the leader. It's him. Shang-Chi's in it. Valentina's in it. Red Guardian, U.S. Agent, Yelena, and Black Widows. And then, of course, he's the leader.
Nice.
Cool. Marvel's interesting. Sometimes they follow what they set up in the comic books. Normally, like obviously they're not following the original Thunderbolts, which Alfonso, I'd love for you to get into here in just a moment. But I do want to stay on the whole Bucky topic as far as if we could get into his background, what he did before, what people should know about him. But yeah, I think one important thing about this is if Joe's telling us that currently Marvel is using Bucky as the leader, then that pretty much that seals it because that's what Marvel does. They're like, hey, we created 500 versions of this team, of this character, but a year to 6 months before we roll out a movie, we give you the exact team or the exact version of the character in the comic book. So there you go.
It's kind of like a partnership, I guess, between him and Valentina. So it'll probably be the same thing in the movie, unless they change it. But
And I could also see him like, oh man, I don't want to lead. I'm just going to be part of the team. And then when things go down and things start to fall apart, he's going to have to pick up the ball and run with it. And he's going to have to take the lead because that's who he is. Bucky he's just one of those top notch guys. He's a brilliant tactician. He can do it on his own. He can assign people what to do. So Team Bucky.
yeah, I mean, who makes a perfect leader? Because if you look at, he was going through a lot of depression, and the Winter Soldier and Captain America TV series. So if you look at each individual member of that Thunderbolts team, in some way or form, they're going through some mental illness or depression.
Yeah, totally agree. Like it makes sense for him to be the leader. And I feel like as far as character development, he's had the longest running, like, hey, let's get to know and care about this character. When we look at the other characters, I feel like, of course, Yelena, White Widow, I liked her. I feel like she's been in Black Widow and she's also been in the Hawkeye series. But I feel like if you want a character that you're going to care about and who's going to lead the team, it's going to be Bucky, as far as he's the guy that you want.
I'm also really hoping that they're going to show that, hey, my arm's missing. Where's my arm? Because Rocket in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special stole his arm to give it to Nebula, or was it? No, Nebula stole it from Bucky to give to Nebula stole it to give to Rocket for Christmas. So if you look, the trailers, it's not the same arm. I don't think it's the same arm he got from Wakanda. So hopefully they just at least touch on that for continuity's sake, But yeah, maybe we should like get into this. We'll talk one character at a time. Let's figure out where they've been, what they're doing, where they come from, what shows they've been on. What we think about them. And at top of the list, I'm going to definitely say it's Bucky. Bucky we know originally from the Captain America movie way back when, which is chronologically the first Marvel movie, not the one made, but as far as in years, Bucky's been through a lot. He's been brainwashed. He was a Winter Soldier. He's learned tactics through government KGB operations. He's a super soldier. I'm pretty sure. I mean, is it just the metal arm that gives him strength? What do you guys think of that, or is it his whole body? It's just the arm is stronger.
No, the whole body.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's different because they always change it. But like in the movie, he's part of the super soldiers. So before they all got killed by Nemo, so he has like kind of, I would say, the same thing as Steve Rogers. He's just missing an arm.
Right.
Hey, what if that new arm is adamantium?
Oh man, that would be the first appearance of adamantium as a useful tool. That would rock. I actually thought about that one day. I'm glad you brought that up, man. It's like, because I would have forgot about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, remember, and then of course he was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. He had his own series with the Falcon or Captain America. And I just saw a clip the other night. It totally reminded me of the heart of that show, where like something was happening and he used a wrench to tighten something, and he used his normal hand. And then, Sam's like, well, why didn't you use the metal arm? And he goes, I just don't think about it. It's like, it's natural to use my real arm. And I don't think about going right to that. Cause I mean, he wouldn't have needed a wrench. He could have just went.
Yeah.
But, so I don't think his super soldier serum is as strong as Captain America's, because that one, of course, was, the American one. The Russian one, I think, was just a little weaker substitute, just like Red Guardian, who probably has that same super soldier serum running through his blood, isn't as strong as Captain America.
What's I don't know, man, because he put that whooping and was fighting against Captain. I mean, granted, he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to fight you no more," but dude, he was going against him and Black Widow.
That's right.
And he was just super dope, man. So
Yeah.
I remember, like, I don't know if you remember this. It happened a while ago. Remember when I won that free signed poster by the directors and some of the actors for what was
Infinity
it?
War?
Endgame.
Infinity. It was Endgame, right? Yeah, I think it was Endgame. And I remember everyone was trying to get the Sebastian Stan. And I was just like, yo, bro, like Captain America Winter Soldier was probably my top movie that I like, number one. I said, it's because you're in it. I think Winter Soldier's dope. And he goes, tell those dudes down there. And he was talking about the brothers, and it was just dope. Like, and he just signed my thing. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. So I really hope they make him dope and do him justice in this. I'm cheering for him, dude.
Yeah. Me too. So regarding the metal arm, I'll say this: his last arm came from Wakanda, so I got to assume it's vibranium.
Yeah.
Now maybe, yeah. I mean, after the Captain America: Brave New World movie, they could go with adamantium, but it just makes more sense that since Captain America still has a vibranium suit, his buddy would still have a vibranium arm. So that's how I'm going to look at it.
You think the Wakandans are just over there dilling it out left and right? All right, wait, what do they call them again? White Wolf. We've got a new arm for you.
See, here's what I feel about the Wakandans, right? I feel like they're giving everyone their low-level technology. Like we like, oh wow, we think it's great. Remember back in the day when people used to say like, oh, if you go to Japan, they're 5 years, they're like 5-10 years ahead of us. Like you can walk in. Yeah, I feel like
still are.
Yeah, that's how it is with Wakanda. They're like, here you go, but they're like, but we're not going to give you our good stuff.
Yeah, I'm like on an i5 or iPhone 13. They're like on an i5 or iPhone 28.
Yeah.
That does make a good point. Yeah, because they're not going to give up the good stuff. Nobody's getting that. What is it? The heart-shaped flower or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're not giving that up, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So Bucky, I mean, hopefully, I don't know if he's still gonna have a code name. Hopefully he still goes by Winter Soldier. It was weird. I was looking at the IMDb of this, and nobody's code names listed. I'm like, what's that about? It's like, are they trying to be? Oh, we got to be realistic. Nobody gets a code name. No, they need code names. So what else do you guys have to say about Bucky? Anything else?
No, I think we did a great job of covering Bucky. I'm looking forward to. I feel like he is such a good, he's just a good friend, honestly.
Yeah.
Whether it be with Cap or whether it be with Sam Wilson.
Right. He came there for Sam Wilson. He was just like, bro, you're gonna be like, pretty much did the verbal kicking of his butt to
Yeah.
make him like, you know what, dude, you're right, dude. And he told him before with Sam Wilson, yo, go ahead, get the shield. He's just like a good friend, dude.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
him and Cap are like best friends, and then here comes Sam Wilson. He joined the party. He wasn't trying to like, yo, he's my friend first.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
read the room and said, the shield is for you, go get it. That's not
Yeah.
for me. And he wasn't bitter about it. And he's happy for
Yeah.
Sam. He wants him to be Captain America. He wants him to carry the legacy of his best friend.
Yeah.
And I want to say that they're kind of like grown into best friends. Like, like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have different best friends where like you get along and you see everything the same. You got the other one you just argue back and forth, but
Yeah.
it's all in love and fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look back at Captain America, the first one, the first Avenger, Bucky was the one looking out for Steve. He was the big alpha. He was the alpha, and he was taking care of Steve. He was like hooking him up with chicks. He's like, come on, he was taking care of him left and right. He was making sure he wasn't getting beat up. And of course, when Steve was able to step out of his shadow and be his own man, that really didn't change who Bucky was. He's been such a good person to everybody. I mean, with the exception of Iron Man's parents, but that was.
You could say he got like a lot of character development because, to your point, Alf, he was very, hey, yo, let's go get these chicks. He wasn't as humble, and he was more direct and more confident. And then with all he went through after that, he became, the guy that's like regretting the stuff that he did. He had no control, of what they were doing and made him do. And he's just living with regret. And that's what he was dealing with in the TV series. So like, he's got really good character development. And if it pans out well in this movie, people are going to love and appreciate what they were doing with him to get to the point that he is at now, inside, with the Thunderbolts team and the leadership that he's going to apply. And, I feel like who best to help and motivate those people, because one, he could talk just as well as like Sam Wilson and, and Steve Rogers to get people hyped up. But at the same time, he's gone through a lot of stuff and he can relate more to what they're going through than say a Sam Wilson or Steve Rogers. If it doesn't have to do with anything about war, how can they relate to anything? Because Sam Wilson had his group that he would do with people that have what's that, post-traumatic syndrome? That's
PTSD,
PTSD from like the war experience, or someone that they lost in the 5-year blimp, where he's going to talk to you about like life, like in general. This is this is us. Nobody wants us, but this is all they got. So we can either fight and save, or we could run and cower. And that's how I feel like the leadership he's going to apply.
Yeah. And one really big point that we should probably make about Bucky, if anything, he's one of us. He's a nerd. He was back there in the early days reading Lord of the Rings when it first came out. Now I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dukes?
Who do you have up next, Alfonso?
Next, I'm going to say next would be, let's go into Red Guardian. I'm going to say he's the second super soldier on the team. He's definitely been enhanced by Russia or the KGB or whatever. He's, their answer to Captain America. He's such a fun loving guy. He's got one of the best personalities. He's always, checking to see if Captain America's mentioned him at all. And of course, I doubt that Captain America's even met him. It would be nice to have like a flashback with him, like running with Steve, or something. But Alexei, what's his name? Alexei Shostakov. He's a great character. He's kind of like the one that reminds me most of me in this show. You know what I mean? He's going to be lighthearted. He's going to get business done when business needs to get done, but he's going to bring a lot of heart to the team.
I agree. It's funny because I was looking, I'm like, yeah, that's Alfonso. And then you said it. So I totally agree. He definitely is the heart of the team. And I want to say that he will still serve the purpose of being the heart of the team, but being less of comedic filler than he was necessarily in the Black Widow movie. But I feel like he is definitely going to keep like the pace of the show moving, because he is so lighthearted and always looking forward to the next thing. So as far as his character goes, I'm like, when I say his character, I mean like his ability. Right. When we talk about characters that have been developed and we know what they can do and it's a unique skill set, I'm like, John Walker, Alexei, Okay, no, same thing, different suit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still looking forward to his character. So, yeah.
Yeah, same here. I was thinking that exact thing. They both got shields. They're both pretty much the same
Right.
in the
Yeah.
sense of like they had this serum and they got it. You're running around with like 2 shields. It just doesn't make sense to me, which I could see them killing off Alexei, just to progress the story, to move it for Yelena and the rest of the group to get hyped up. And that's when Bucky goes, hey, it's either do or die. I can see them doing that because if they're going to keep it as a team, I just can't see 2 shields running around, man. It just doesn't make sense, to your point, Alan. So I hate to say it because, like, I think it's pretty cool. Like, but we'll go to what Alpha always says. Oh, he's kind of old. Marvel in 5 years or 7 years, he's going to look older. Like, and if he looks younger, U.S. agent does. You know what I mean? If I was going to take the Alfie point.
Well, and let's not forget, Taskmaster has a shield too. So it's like tri-shield attack.
Yeah. We'll go. I mean, Alfonso, you're driving the car, so you're driving the limo. That's a reference. But anyway, but I'll say this. I feel like Taskmaster and Ghost are just filler.
Yeah.
So
they could die too.
Yeah, I feel like Alexei has to die more so than Taskmaster or Ghost because nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
Right. So they're safe.
Yeah, I mean, if they make Ghost like Nightcrawler, like if Ghost came out fighting and disappeared and coming back and then kicking butt, I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, that's true.
That little snippet that I sent you guys shows Ghost fighting, and Ghost, in my opinion, is the most powerful on the team. The only one with real power, not just buffed up super soldier. So pretty skilled now. Actually, let's just go ahead and talk about Ghost now since we're right here. Ghost, I mean, she's from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. She when she can turn invisible, she can phase, she can kind of teleport. But the thing of it is, she never really had control, and she had a little bit of psychosis from the whole microverse or whatever they call it. But at the very end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, she was given control by the original Wasp, whatever her name was, Janet Van Dyne. Yeah, so she went ahead and did some kind of Vulcan mind meld, gave her control of her powers. And we didn't know what that was going to look like until we saw that snippet that I sent you guys. Did you watch that one, Joe?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so she's fighting John Walker, she's fighting Bucky, and she's fighting Yelena, and she is whooping them down. Like, she's just going through them like a hot knife through butter, just back and forth, and they don't know what's coming from where. So I think she's going to be a really big part of a lot because she can do things that they can't. It's like, yeah, John Walker, you got Red Guardian, and you've got Taskmaster. They're all basically the same person. I mean, Taskmaster probably has a little more skill, but it's Ghost is kind of going to be like a tipping point. And I'm not to say that any of them really have a chance against Sentry, but we'll get there in a minute. But I'm curious to see how together her head is. With her head being on right, I think she's going to be a powerful force. What do you guys think of Ghost?
Everything you're saying sounds good, Alfonso. But I just don't care. I mean, she may be an awesome character. I'll compare this to the greatest opening in cinematic history, X2.
Yes.
When Nightcrawler came out and he was teleporting and he was doing his thing, I was like, respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the Nightcrawler I wanted to see. Now, let's ask ourselves this. How many people didn't know who Nightcrawler was, and even though they thought that was cool, can't tell you the name of that character or anything like that? I feel like that's how Ghost is going to be, where it's like, yeah, she does all this cool stuff, but at the end of the day, she's a filler character, and they're not going to give her a personality because they have an ensemble cast of like 20 people. That's hyperbole. I know it's not 20 people, but yeah,
I'd say like.
Yeah, I said like, which that's the quantification of everything in math, just like, and the answer is always right. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care about her character. Her character was bland. Okay. Her character was so bland. And Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So are they going to have time to build her up while simultaneously building up the characters you're actually supposed to care about? No, she did.
I think you can do it. I think a really well placed scene
Mhm.
could bring you back. I think Phase 4 was so terrible, and Ant-Man 2 you hated so badly that you have resentment for that character just because that movie was so bad. They didn't, to your point, develop her well enough. I think this movie has to have that character development with these characters because, to your point, you're probably one of many that think the same thing. Who's this ghost? Why do I care? The last time I saw her was in Ant-Man 2 and she was terrible. So they do have a task in front of them where they have to make people like you and myself and others bring us into have us care about this character and be interested in this character. Now, like I said, if they don't make her powers like Nightcrawler, because that's pretty much what she does, I'll be disappointed. So like I just want action. So like so like if she does some good action scenes, bro, like if she acted bad and maybe they didn't have character development, but if she has some dope fight scenes, hey yo, she served her purpose, man. Get it in, little girl. You know what I'm saying? Get it in, little girl.
So what I'm going to say is, speaking of task in front of her and bland characters, quoting both of you, Taskmaster. Not my Taskmaster. I don't know about you guys, but not my Taskmaster. You know, you got another shield character. I mean, you got somebody who could shoot a bow and arrow. You've got a sword user, you know, definitely an expert marksman. You know, Taskmaster should be so good. And I don't think I don't like Taskmaster because she's a girl. That I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's just Taskmaster is just a badass in the comics, and he, you know, he's a shit doctor. Taskmaster will tear it up, man, and he's gonna let you know he's doing it with your own moves. You know, they really dropped the ball with it. Taskmaster originated in what is it, Black Widow, the prequel movie. You know, there's a big reveal that it was like so-and-so's daughter and face burnt up. You know, can Taskmaster talk? I forget how that works. You know, it's just, I don't know. They could do something to make this character great, but will they? If you're looking for cannon fodder, I mean, they're going to be like, well, if Taskmaster could do everything we can do and Taskmaster gets taken out, what chance do we have? Right there, you know?
Yeah, I'm just, I don't like, I feel like Taskmaster has to be unalived. I said unalive for the homies on TikTok. Anyway, because I feel like nobody cares. Like, I just spent a good minute complaining about Ghost, and then Taskmaster is just Ghost over 9,000. Like, nobody cares. You talk about no character development, no personality. Like, all they can do is, like, they're gonna have to give that character a personality,
Right.
or else she's gonna stand in a corner the whole movie,
Right.
and if her face is all messed up, is she just gonna wear that mask the whole time?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Like, this Taskmaster, to Alfonso's point, I remember initially when they said, you know, oh, Taskmaster's going to be in the movie. I was like, oh, cool, right? But then, you know what I found out? A little phrase called Phase 4, okay? And that pretty much meant that this movie, like this Taskmaster, is not going to be any good. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, no. You know, I hope Taskmaster is, hello TikTok, unalived.
I think, again, Peacemaker. Remember Peacemaker in Suicide Squad? Like when he first appeared, before he had his own TV show, he just had like a few one-liners, man. And, you know, like he said some funny little key phrases and then you were like, man, this guy's pretty cool. You started liking Peacemaker. I think they could do the same thing again with, you know, Taskmaster, is do little things to they could say or do to make you interested, like in certain points of the movie. Again, if she goes back to your point, Alf, the original what a Taskmaster does and can mimic and do, that would be cool if they did it the right way. So like if they did it the right way, the discussion about her would be different. You would, for again, like if they just do the part well, as far as the stunts and the mimic of the powers, I'm okay with it, man. I love kung fu movies and they got no story at all. But if the fight scenes, man, when the fight scenes hit, you're like, huh. And sometimes like a good action sequence moves the movie moves it along, and so you forget about the bad storyline, right? But if you're watching a bad storyline and the action's like bland or the special effects is bad, now you're starting to put them all together, right? It's just like you get into an argument with your significant other, and one of the two are cooking food. Even though you're mad, you're like, you're making me some dinner. Well, here's your dinner, right? And then the mood changes, and you forget why you're fighting in the first place. And I feel like that's how it is if they do it right in this movie.
I can see that. Isn't Taskmaster a mutant, Alfonso, in the comic books?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
Wasn't it? I thought that was like their version of Deathstroke, right? Like they try to, or was Deathstroke their version of a Taskmaster? I get confused.
Deadpool is because Deathstroke is Slade Wilson, but Deadpool is Wade Wilson.
Right. Yeah.
But isn't Deathstroke like he can mimic your stuff too, and Deadpool can't do that?
Yeah, that's true. I think he can.
But you're probably right. It probably was Deadpool, but I just think it'd be more like if you're gonna do something, Taskmaster's pretty much Deathstroke. He mimics your moves. And,
oh yeah. Yeah, and nothing worse than getting beat with your own moves.
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's see. Next on the list, we have yours, mine, and everybody's favorite U.S. Agent. Oh, wait, no. But, honestly, I believe in John Walker. A little callback to my intro. But John Walker, I think he can be good. I think, he was painted in a really bad light in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which he was supposed to be. That was the character. But all in all, this guy has, I think he's got 4 Medal of Honors. He's an American hero. He's an icon, right? That's why he got the shield. That's why he got, and don't think he didn't take it from him. America didn't take, Sam gave it up. So they had to find somebody to fill that role because, we needed somebody to fall behind. And he went a little nuts. It happens. He's learned. He's grown. I think he's going to learn how to be a better person by watching Bucky, by working with Red Guardian. It'll lighten him up a little bit. And even Taskmaster, he's going to see that he's got to step it up or he's going to be left behind. He's got some shoes to fill, and that's kind of always been his downfall. He's always trying to fill Captain America's shoes, Steve Rogers. And now it's like he's got to be able to step it up and be his own man. And I think that's going to be something that's going to shine in this movie.
I just hope they give him the black and red suit.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it would look. Yeah, but then you got 2 red suits. Again, the dilemma of 2 of the same characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't think they'll do it. Oh, well, here's your point. If they do use him as someone that dies and you can move the plot forward, at the end of it, he's in the red suit to honor, the Guardian. I can see them doing that too. And then you have your red suit for your U.S. agent.
Right.
Yeah, I actually like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely down with that.
Marvel. I got 2 other people.
Hire Joe. That's right.
I got the trio right here, bro. Hire us.
Yeah. I would say hire us.
Go ahead. Let us. We'll go to one of your little cabin meetings.
Yeah.
We'll tell you how to actually do it right, Marvel.
Yeah.
Little cabin meetings. Yeah. I mean, once again, it's funny because I think it was Yelena in one of the trailers. Doesn't she say something like, all of us can just like shoot and punch things?
Right.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Because, it's like, oh, well, what about John Walker, U.S. agent? Well, he's like just same thing. And
yeah.
Is this character interesting from a character development point of view? Yeah, I think so. Because for him, he needs redemption. I feel like at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, when he met up with Maria Condesa Vanessa Fontaine, I feel like her whole thing was like, hey, this is your opportunity for redemption. And I
Right.
feel like that's going to be what he's going for in this. So
Mhm.
I'm interested to see what he does,
Right.
Right. I agree. I think this whole movie is just going to be about redemption for all of them.
Mhm.
To find out who they really are and whether or not they can be heroes or losers or people that just don't care. So I think they're gonna. I want to say this movie's just gonna make us really care about the characters.
Right.
I think they're gonna do it right, man. I think they've been listening to all of us hate Phase 4 and making our little comments and stuff, and I think they have started off okay, right? I'm sure okay could probably be wow, after watching this movie in a few days.
Yeah.
Look at this on the live stream. Kevin Feige joins, says, yeah, I listened to all Nerd World Order broadcasts, and these guys have really put things in alignment for me. So thanks. Hey, look at that.
Hey,
Wow.
hey,
Kevin, holla at your boy Joe.
hello.
Um, he's ready for the cabin. He'll bring his charisma to the cabin, definitely.
All right. So last and not least, well, actually, of the team. Yeah. So last and not least of the team, because we still got some others to talk about, is Yelena, the White Widow. Again, hope they go with some kind of code name. And if they change it, it would be fine because the White Widow is, racist. No. Yelena is, oh my gosh, this character is so great. The actress does such a great job. And by the
Right.
way, I don't know if you guys saw, but my boy Finch was on the red carpet and he was
Yes.
dressed up as Red Guardian, and she walks up and she called him daddy. I'm like,
Yeah.
so jealous.
Shout out to Fitch. You lucky, lucky
Yeah.
man.
Lucky
Lucky
man. She
Yeah.
called him daddy. That was awesome. But Yelena, I mean, she is such a charismatic character. I'm gonna miss her not being with Kate Bishop because their interactions were so classic. But you know what? She has really good interactions with Red Guardian as well. Her so and so dad. But of course, she started out. She was in Hawkeye, the Hawkeye show. She was in Black Widow. So we've learned a lot about her. We've got to see more and more of her, and she's a character that, I mean, honestly, I like her better than Natasha. I really do. I don't know about you guys, but she's just the charisma. She's sitting there eating ice cream, talking crap. She's fighting with Kate Bishop, and she's like, "Oh, that was a good move." She is wonderful. She's a pleasure to have in class.
I feel like I was with you until you said like, oh, well, I like her more than Black Widow. It's like Joe would have a really good analogy right now where you take one food that's really good and you take another food that's really good too. Now both foods are good, but you shouldn't have the audacity to compare the two, like pizza and ribs, right? Pizza is
Yeah.
good, but so is ribs. You don't compare them, Alfonso. Okay, one of them is indeed finger looking good, right? Just like some ribs. So everything you're saying, Alfonso, is 100% correct, other than you trying to say like, oh, it's better than Black Widow. No, everything else you said is 200% correct. She's funny. She interacts with everybody very well. Her action scenes are awesome. Everything about White Widow is great. Like if we had to have like an unaliving pool, like who's going to be unalived, guess who's not going to be unalived? No chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Alf, you had me to that too as well. I have to agree with Alan. So for me, the best analogy that I could do is it's like I have a main chick and I have a side chick. Yeah, my side chick is a lot funnier, like to have fun and I can vibe with and stuff like that, which is Yelena. She's really funny. She has a little chemistry with other people. But at the end of the day, I have to go with my main chick because my main chick has everything, right? You know what I'm saying? I can have more fun with the side chick, but the main chick is where my heart is. And, I have to, Scarlett Johansson, hey, girl, shout out to your girl, Kevin Feige, hook it up. What's good?
Dude. Me and Alfonso were like, no, we don't know what you mean.
Wait, Kevin Feige's typing in the chat again. He's saying that go Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's analogy makes a lot of sense for him.
Yeah, I don't know what this side chick is you speak of.
I know.
You
No,
might as
I
well
don't
be
know.
speaking French.
Yeah.
No, that does make sense. But yeah, Alfonso, that how the audacity.
I'm sorry. It's my IMO, not IYO.
Hey, EO
YOLO.
though, EO is dope.
Heyo. So yeah, that rounds out our Thunderbolts team. But right now, with the Thunderbolts team, why are they coming together? Why are they getting together? We have the Sentry, a Superman level hero who is on the spot. Apparently, he's got some kind of psychological issues because he's in some kind of gown, and they're there to help him out. And what's cool is these are a lot of broken people, and they're here to help him. And the only way they're going to be able to help him is psychologically understanding how to be unbroken. And I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, the heart of the team is going to overcome. This ragtag bunch of heroes. Like the A-Team or like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you will. Like, people are going to love them. They can't do anything to stop them, and that's probably why Yelena says we can shoot and punch and kick. There's nothing they can do. And Sentry is an awesome hero, but for as awesome as he has a dark side, a Nega Sentry, or as they call it, the Void. And the Void and Sentry or Robert, I don't know, Palmer, Blake's, whatever his name is, are struggling for control over his mind to be in charge. So, they got to find a way to fix this, and how else are you going to fix it but psychologically, right? They can't do anything to stop him. They can't do anything to hurt him. They can't, it's going to be an interesting thing, because I think this is going to become a deeper movie than we all think. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of punching and kicking and shooting, and it's going to be fun. It's going to have a lot of action. People are going to drive a muscle car to the moon. Oh wait, no, that was something else. Melissa McCarthy's going to, no, that's something else. But in all honesty, I think it's going to really show us the heart. And yeah, we might lose a character or two, and it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. And whether or not the Sentry is going to be around after this, because, I mean, what are you going to do if you have this guy around? What's the threat now? Who's the threat? What are they going to do to stop Sentry? So either he's going to go in seclusion or something. Maybe he's going to go hang out on Mars or the moon, like what's his name from The Watchmen did. I'm excited to see how this goes down, but I also feel like there might be somebody there manipulate him that we're not seeing yet. Thoughts?
Ah, man. I got so much wrong with the Sentry being the big bad. Like, it makes sense because I have no analogy for this, but you have these people who have no viable way of beating him based on their skill set. It's like, to me, it's like comparing, you have the Suicide Squad and they're fighting Superman, right?
Mhm.
But they don't have that the death sport character that was in the second Suicide Squad, who shot at Superman with the kryptonite bullet. So he's OP. So they're gonna have to reduce the skill set, and he can't be a Thunderbolt because he's so powerful. It's like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, he's too powerful. So one of the things you guys mentioned earlier is that Bucky is so good with dealing with people who have psychological trauma. He seems like he's going to have to, more so than using that vibranium arm, he's going to have to enlist that skill set in order to overcome this, right? And I'm not looking for him to be like saying, hey there, big fella, the sun's going down. I'm not trying to see that. Now, am I? I'm just curious to see how they're going to do it, because Sentry is just too dang powerful. That's my thoughts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're gonna give you exactly what you don't want. He's gonna get talked down. Bucky's gonna talk to him and try to reason with the other side that of the guy that's trying to win. He's basically pretty much Incredible Hulk, but they each have powers, like
Mhm,
different set of powers too. I want to say, right? I think
mhm.
two different set of powers where Incredible Hulk is just it's intelligence and then there's brawn, strength, and stuff. I think that's the difference between those two. But yeah, they're gonna have to talk him down. There's no way they're gonna beat him. I mean, to Al's point, they said it in the trailer. Like, what do you expect us to do? We all of us punch and shoot things, and you can't win against a Sentry for that. But I do think they do need a super. Like we did a pod back in the day where we picked our team that we wanted, and we always picked. You have to have a big dude. You have to be a strongest dude that's OP, and you need that in a group. Otherwise, Thunderbolts is just a bunch of Batman family. You know what I mean? They just shoot and they fight. That's it, right? But you kind of
Yeah.
need a power set person like a Sentry because you don't have it. You need a Thor type OP kind of dude or a Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is really OP, and they did a good job toning her stuff down. I mean, yeah, she
Sure.
flies through spaceships, but she's a lot stronger than that.
Yeah.
I think with Sentry, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to like go back and watch some old X-Men animated series and, just have him faint all the time like Jean Grey.
One thing that I think is really cool when I take a look at the picture for Sentry is that I don't know the name of his human form or whatever, but he's got
Robert.
bullet holes and burns in his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me he's probably in some sort of facility where they're testing his power.
Right.
And to me, that's just really interesting. Like, what's going on with this guy? Like, there's a story there, and it's just not he goes crazy. It feels more like he was part of some program and they were testing him, and then he went crazy.
Or creating him.
Oh,
It's Robert Reynolds is his name.
oh, Ryan Reynolds. He's in
Robert.
everything. Yeah. Let's see here. We can cover Sentry a little more, but I also want to go to Maria Conchita Alonso Contessa Vandisa.
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
So I feel like Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I said her name because I'm looking at it. For those of you who aren't watching this on video, that's the only way I know Valentina Allegra de Fontaine's name. I'm gonna say it 100 times, like when I used to say Cult Popcast. I had to write it down on a sticky note. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. There, see, I know it.
You had to write it on your hand like the Rock did when Xena called him out.
I said, and now our friends, the Cult Popcast. But I feel like, I don't know, what's her name? Elaine? What's her real name?
Elaine.
What's her real name?
Oh my gosh. I told you.
Julian? Is it Julian or Julian?
Juliette
Louise Dreyfus.
There you go. Juliette
Louise
Lewis. Like I wish it was Juliette Lewis. I like her.
What's up with that?
So it's Julia Dreyfus?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Okay, Julia Louise Dreyfus. See, I know so much. Anyway, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So I really feel like this character she's gonna be too much like Amanda Waller. But at this point, like you can't you gotta go a completely different direction because Amanda Waller is Amanda Waller, and you can't even try to like, oh, well, nah, dude. It's like you have your Suicide Squad. This is your Amanda Waller. And unless she is completely different, that's the only way I'm going to see Allegra de Fontaine.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are the odds that we're going to see some new Avengers in this? Because I mean, like, as you can see, they're clearly doing a new Avengers thing for everything. Is it just going to be like in the trailer, or not the trailer, but the post credits? Or you think we're going to see some of them pop up?
No.
You think we'll see other characters pop up? Because Sentry's going to be taking out the city, and like there are other superheroes there. I mean, are they going to do some kind of containment field where they can't get in? They're just going to pretend they're off world like Thor.
Yeah. Like, as much as this movie does look like it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And it seems like they have gotten rid of that Phase 4 funk.
Mhm.
I just no, they're not going to explain why. Oh, there's this character that is essentially Superman going around unaliving what up TikTok people, and for whatever reason, they don't. There's no explanation of why other people don't show up.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to do that.
You don't
You
think
know?
Daredevil's going to be in the background saving some kid from an ice cream truck?
No. There will be no decent post credit. There will be nothing.
I have a friend that I guess the audio got leaked. Like he didn't see what happened, but he said just listening to the audio, he's hyped.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I don't even know if this is true. I'm just making lies right now. Tell
No,
me
I'm
when I'm
telling you,
lying.
bro.
I'm about to
telling
lie.
you. Yeah, you about
Because
to lie.
my boy Finchman X, he
Mhm.
saw it.
What do
He
you
didn't
say?
come out talking about after credits.
He
Probably
went to
because
the
your boy
premiere.
had to. Probably because your boy had to sign the NDA.
Yeah, he was definitely signing an NDA.
Man, see, Finchman X didn't say anything about that, okay? He was dressed up as Red Guardian. You know he was hot. He was hot in that suit.
Oh yeah, you know
He's
he
sitting
was.
there the whole time, still dressed up. His suit
But
was all tight.
he ain't trying not to make another event, bro. Like he's signing an NDA, bro. He quiet, man. He said ain't no Shannon Sharp messing around with a 19-year-old releasing all the info and audio and the tapes around here. If they just keep it quiet.
I'll let your boy Shannon Sharp. That's right.
Mhm.
He said, I'm live streaming. Don't know how.
Bro, he only like 4 years older than me, bro. He out there chasing 18-year-olds. Like, come on, bro.
Hey, you
We're
know
what?
what?
Whoa.
Come on. See, I don't want to go down that road, but I support Shannon Sharp.
Nah, bro. If one of you two, if I was going out with an 18-year-old, you guys will clown me so hard.
No, I
So
wouldn't. No, I
stop the
wouldn't.
cap.
No,
Stop the
I
cap.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Nah, come on,
would
dude.
not. I would
I
not.
would,
Cap's not in this movie.
I would expect you to, because I know better than that.
Wow. Joe just Shannon Sharp shamed us. That's a new thing. Shannon
Yeah.
Sharp shaming us. Joe just said, I know better. And you
To
Yeah.
be fair, I don't know who Shannon Sharp is.
It's a good thing.
Nah, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Who is she?
It's a football player.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a football player that is now having a lawsuit of $50 million because he was messing around with the 18-year-old or 19-year-old OnlyFans model.
Dang. Hey, I saw Paul Heyman with an OnlyFans model at WrestleMania.
22. Yeah.
What up with
I think he's
that?
engaged. Yeah. Oh, like, dude, these old dudes, man. I don't even know how old he is, man. These old dudes, man. Find someone your own age or close to it.
Or close to it, or half at least. At
Mhm.
least half.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like? Someone did the number like it's like you take your half your age minus 7 plus 5, something like that, dude. That's what you should be messing around with. I don't know. Something like that.
All I
don't-
know is
don't
with
get
my
it
bad back, man, I ain't tried nothing anymore with anybody.
Well,
I mean, the fact that I'm married and in
I'm
love.
just,
so.
yeah. Well, there you go, Alfonso. There you go.
I mean,
Please-
if the
Please
tables
refer
were
back
turned.
to Joe's. What was it you called it, Joe? A side chick? I don't know.
CD Chic? CD Chic? Is,
Yeah. You know they're gonna have to. Let's just rewind it back. He's gonna end up being a member of the Thunderbolts, so like they got to get there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. I think there's 2, right? I think there's 2. Is there 2? I can't remember.
Do
To
what?
Credit scenes, or is it
Yes,
just one?
yes.
Oh,
One
two.
short one and one long one is what I've heard on the street.
Mhm.
Really? That's what we may have heard from Finchman X.
No, I'm not saying that because I have
Because he signed that NDA. Finchman X didn't
I
come
think
out hyped up.
it's officially online. I think usually you find out like the next few days. They
Yeah.
at least say that.
not. Actually, IMDb, I read one on IMDb and I'm like, oh man. I was
Yeah, that
pissed.
sucks.
See,
That
that's
sucks.
why. That's
Yeah.
why I go like complete zero internet.
Mhm.
You know.
Zero Dark Dirty.
Yeah,
That's right,
Once-
Zero
Man,
Dark
I can't go till Saturday.
Once you hear something that it's rumblings of it being good, anything like if it's on Reels or TikToks, commercials, YouTube videos. Let's
You
talk
just
about
swipe
it.
left.
I swipe that, bro, like I'm
Oh,
on
wait, you
Tinder or
swipe left,
something.
swipe-
Swipe
Yeah.
left, swipe left, swipe left.
I'm like, is it left? I wouldn't know, but I mean,
Yeah, I got to tell you guys, we're at 54 minutes. I did not think that was going to happen for this episode.
that's what. Oh wait, I can't say that.
Hey, phrasing.
Yeah, yeah. When we were talking, I was like, wow. I feel like if a topic lends itself to conversation,
Right.
I think this is going to be an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
You
We shall see in a couple days.
Tomorrow, bro.
watching it tomorrow?
Oh, I'm watching it Friday. You watching it Thursday?
Bro, you know what it's like, bro. Some days you don't need sleep. On the Marvel days,
Yeah.
bro, here's what I'm surprised about. Okay, I feel like Joe has for a long time. Joe's like, I'll see it when I see it. Like when it comes to Marvel movies. So the fact that you got because Joe always does that around that 10 o'clock show.
Yeah.
The fact that Joe is ready to watch this, I'm like,
Yeah.
Marvel's
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't do Thursday because my son's work, and it was like Friday, like my youngest one's off, and then my oldest one gets off at like 9:30. So
Nice.
it linked up, dude, and I'm excited because us three haven't gotten together for a while, to watch a movie together, and we used to do it when they were kids all the time, before they moved out on me. No, I'm joking. I digress. They became men. You know what I mean? I raised
Right.
men.
Melvin.
Yeah, 300 Spartans.
Right.
Sparta.
Yeah, guys. So we are rounding the corner here. So I'm just going to throw my final thoughts out there. Actually, I'm going to throw my final prediction about this movie. It's going to be a great movie, but it will in no way, none, zero, a zippo, nada, and in French, nine,
No, that's
will
German.
not in any way change anything about the MCU. Not a thing.
I think you're gonna send me a text, dude, you gotta watch this, dude, we gotta talk about this. I think I'm gonna get one of those texts, which we haven't been for a while.
Yeah.
Marvel
It's been a
movies.
while.
Like, dude, I mean, that was a great song by you. You remember that song? I don't know. Been a while.
I
Yeah. Oh, sing it. Dude, we got this coming out, and if this is good, bro, and then in a couple months, Superman's out, and if that's good, oh my gosh, this could be the year of like, and if that, hopefully that does very well. But if it does well, it's like, I don't want to say that superhero movies are back. I will say better making movies of that genre is back.
Okay, I know I said this was my final thought.
Okay, Alfonso.
But I'll just say this, Joe. You are 100% correct if someone does not allow Sony to make another movie. Otherwise, you're 100% correct. Bro.
I don't think they got anything lined up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just the Spider-Man movie
that they delayed, right?
Yeah,
another might not even come out.
Alfonso, hit us with your best final thought.
Dude, I roped a horse this weekend.
Oh, nice. Maybe you can rope in this final thought.
Yeah. I just had to brag about that because I was very impressed. But regardless,
cool.
yeah.
Hey, so we ready for some gorillas then? Right. Let's go.
So yeah, Thunderbolts. I'm predicting it's going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy, a team we didn't want, we didn't ask for, we didn't care about, and it's just going to blow us away.
And this concludes this episode of the Nerd World Order broadcast. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am NWO.
We are NWO.
Nerds Redefined. Booyah!